Let's begin today's Vanguard news by giving English players a reminder to be thankful that Bushiroad doesn't sell us promo cards bundled in books or magazines, as the latest card in Youthquake is a Stoicheia card. Financia Terasuba Key while on rear guard lets you put herself into your soul to choose up to 2 order cards with the same name from your drop zone. Then put one of them to the bottom of your deck and adding the other to your hand. Then give one of your units 5k power. And while on rear guard, she gets 5k power when you play an order card and have a grade 3 or higher Vanguard. One would think this is a good card for Zorga, but it's actually not. Like the manga cover implies, this is supposed to be a Stoicheia support for its quote-unquote codex cards. I still find it annoying to this day that Bushiroad didn't call them Sutra cards instead.
These donuts are great! Jelly-filled are my favorite!
Despite Dayusha being one of the best and recent non-striding counter decks, Bushiroad decided to give it more support in DZBT06, while other encounter decks are withering away. There's also 2 encounter cards for Dark States and Keta Sanctuary. Dimensional Robo Die Trucker while on rear guard gives all your Dimensional Robo in the same column as him the boost ability. They ain't even hiding it. The helmet design and transformation is a clear reference to Convoy. That's the original Japanese name for Optimus Prime uncultured G1s. Super Dimensional Robo Die Wing when placed on rear guard from hand lets you pay 3 energy if you have a Dimensional Robo Vanguard to call up to 1 Dimensional Robo card with a different name than himself from your soul. And that card is put back into your soul at the end of that turn. And while on rear guard or the Guardian Circle, he gets 5k power and shields if you have a base card in your order zone. Then he gets another 5k power and shields if you have 3 or more base cards in your order zone. Are we sure that this encounter deck is Dimension Police and not Pale Moon? Because for a second there I thought someone got Dayusha and Luquia mixed up. Glory Maker gets all her abilities if your Vanguard only has 1 clan and you have no cards in your G zone. While in the drop zone, you can call her to rear guard when your grade 3 or higher Vanguard is placed and don't have another copy of her on rear guard. And while on rear guard, you can get one of 2 effects when she boosts while you have a grade 3 or higher Vanguard that either prevents your opponent from using blitz orders or forcing your opponent to call 2 or more cards at the same time to the Guardian Circle if they wish to guard. Then she gets retired at the end of the battle you used this ability. Just when you thought Messiah can get a maple clone of its own like Luat, but it can't use this card. Dayusha already rips off Ezel's superior ride, but made it better. And now Dayusha is copying Maple but better as well, as this card becomes a guard restrict booster. It's like someone at Bushiroad's R&D is intentionally pissing me off by making better versions of cards in decks I use. Doreen the Thruster is a dark irregular clan card that gets all her abilities if your Vanguard only has 1 clan and you have no cards in your G zone. When placed on rear guard, you soul charge 1 card then put 1 card in your drop zone into your soul. And while on rear guard, she gets 3k power when a card is put into your soul by your card's ability while you have a grade 3 or higher Vanguard. At this point, I'm wondering why the hell didn't Bushiroad just make a direct Luquia support when the 2 other encounter decks in the nation can't even use her? And why even bother using her outside of the nostalgia and waifu factor when Brainwash Swirler does the same job but better? Finally, Battle Sister Coco is an Oracle Think Tank clan card that gets all her abilities if your Vanguard only has 1 clan and you have no cards in your G zone. When placed on rear guard, you can put a card in hand into your soul to look at the top 2 cards of your deck, then add one of them to your hand and putting the rest either back on top or into your soul. And she gets 5k power if you put a card into your soul with this ability. And while on rear guard or the Guardian Circle, she gets 10k power and shields if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or higher and they revealed a trigger unit on their drive or damage check. My initial thoughts was she was just Sagis with extra steps, but I soon realized the potential of this card, like being able to put certain cards in your soul early like Phantom Blaster Dragon for early crit access, any of the Blaster for His Majesty, a Chamomile or grade 3 card, so Minerva can make early plays, or even just making sure Ezel has a decent drive check after calling her with his skill. And that concludes this Vanguard news without the bullshit. Special thanks to my Patreon members for continuing to support my content creation. Be sure to subscribe and let me know in the comments if Dark Irregulars and Oracle Think Tank encounter decks are coming soon because of these cycle cards.